Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of DBacks Swing. The episode I actually remembered, the episode number 4. Technically, I remembered it for 5 too, but that was live, so I didn't really count. And I was going to number that 4. So. Anyways, we'll be taking a look at the months of June and July. We'll talk about our trading activities, and we'll look at a few of our prospects that we went ahead and signed, as well as the international free agency, a couple guys we signed there. So let's start with the big trade news. We did make a trade. We only made one. I couldn't really find a suitor for Tomas, so it wasn't Tomas. So who did we trade then? Well, let me find that one for you here. Boom. Zach Greinke. I know, he's our ace. He was a really good player. I wanted to keep him, but at 33, we're paying him $31 million for the next 4 years. He's gonna be 37 by the time that deal ends, and that was eating up like 30% of my budget. So I figured it's like, well, okay, my options are I keep Greinke or I open up some money that I can use to maybe put in some extensions for some of these guys like Pollock, Peralta, possibly Drury. Just the guys who are our hitters who are doing a pretty decent job. We got Ray who's going to want an extension. He's already arbitration eligible. So I figured, well, let's free up some money. We can get 2 or 3 guys that are going to be decent. We'll take a chance on having our pitching not being quite all-star level. And that way, so we decided to make that deal. I got a pretty good offer from Texas. I was kind of looking around to see what I could get. I had to give up another minor leaguer. I had to give up Keller, but I wasn't really all that excited by Keller anyways. And in return, I got a player I really wanted when I was looking through there, Profar. See, he's already got a good contact according to our scouts. Gap power is about average. Eye is about average with plus avoid K and below average power. I have him just waiting in the minor leagues a little bit because we don't really have a spot for him anyways. He'll probably end up in AAA next year because his AA numbers combined between the 2 stops are pretty good. AA numbers, excuse me. But he's got good work ethic. Wow, I need to slow the fuck down, don't I? He has good work ethic, not and intelligence. Not the best fielder, but he's above average all line. Line drive hitter, which I especially like if his gap power comes to fruition there. And it could be faster, but end of the day, he's 21 and a half. He looks like he'll be a great contact hitter for us with a good on-base guy. Decent enough power. He might get a few home runs here and there. We ain't going to really win on that. And more importantly, he has great flexibility. We can play him at first, second, or third base. So yeah, I saw he was available. I was able to get the deal going for him. I did have to eat about 30% of Greinke's contracts, so I'm still paying him almost $10 million a year for the next 4 or 5 years. But you know, to get the deal done, I'll take it. It frees up money anyways. It frees up another $20 million. I'd rather have that than have to eat the whole 30. So on top of that, we were able to get Houston to give us a nice packet of prospects along with it. We got Dragmeyer here, who's gonna have above average stuff, hopefully. Already has above average movement and not gonna be a great control guy. If we get lucky, or be average on that. But primarily we needed some relievers. We needed reliever depth in the minor leagues, and so I threw him in there and they were alright with it, so it works for me. 24 and a half, a little bit older than I wanted, but again, he's already there. He'll be a good reliever depth. We can even might see him in the majors in the future. Depends on how our other guys do. Got Ventura. He's just a throw-in guy to hope maybe he breaks out and becomes better than expected, which is just kind of an average overall guy. Even OSA is like, yeah, he'll be about average. No good ear. He can play all across the infield. Defensive ratings are pretty good. That's about what he's got going for him. He's young. That's main hope. Is that, hey, he's young. Maybe he breaks out and becomes a huge star. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just always sucks. You know, maybe he just becomes this average guy. Maybe he ends up sucking. But I was willing to take a shot on that. I brought in Palumbo, another guy who's going to be an average pitcher, but I wanted to get a starting pitcher back since I was trading 2 of them. And the other guy I wanted to was 19. They weren't quite as interested in giving me up, so I took him. Figure OSA thinks stuff and might be above average movement, meh, and with no control. We think he's going to be more average than that and actually develop his control. We'll see who's right, we'll see who's wrong. Worst, he's going to be a below average pitcher. Maybe we use him somewhere, but again, the same hope is that maybe we get lucky, maybe he breaks out, maybe he's better than we think he is. He's only 20, almost 23. Then not having a great couple of games in Jackson, but it's early. So we'll see. I want to just get a starting pitcher back since I was trading 2 of them, and he was about the one they'd take that wasn't complete suck. And then this guy's just pure upside guy. I mean, he's the riskiest of them, I feel, because we think he's going to be terrible, other than home run power and eye. OSA, though, I think he's going to be a pretty good hitter. Good contact and gap power and average everywhere else. He's not going to be that bad, according to them. And he's a fly ball hitter, so if he gets that power, that's going to be nice to see, too. But, like I said, he's purely a chance guy. He's only 19. We think he'll suck. They think he'll be great. Figure, hey, the fact they think he'll be great, he's got great work ethic. That's nice to see. I don't think we knew that at the time. But the fact that OSA is like, he'll be great. I'm like, well, we don't think he will be, but hey, out of all the other options that were low potential that they would give to me, I'll take a shot on him. Let's see what happens. Worst comes to worst, he ends up sucking. We didn't really lose much out of it because we got Profar and Dragmeyer, who are going to be pretty, and Profar I feel like is going to be a big, really good player for us there. So that's really about all we had for team news in terms of trades. We do have some guys up that got called up. We have Vargas, who came up after some injuries there for us, and he's proven he was worth bringing up. At 26, the Venezuelan is killing it. I mean, just look at those numbers. Great on base, great average, great slugging, even though he's not a power hitter, which tells me he's getting some good extra base hits going in there. Not a ground ball hitter, thank God. Good defense, can play second, third, and short. Just a legend at avoiding strikeouts according to our scout. An average eye and great contact. Could have some more power, but other than that, I'll take him. He's hitting great for me. And he wasn't really even supposed to be a starter, just with Lamb going down. We decided to give him a shot, and wow. Said he's impressed. He's earned his place on this team. Arcia, of course, is staying like being an Arcia. Tomas is back, unfortunately. As you can tell, I love Tomas just a tiny, tiny bit. He's my favorite player. I only wish he played for us more. Yeah, like I said, I love Tomas. As you can totally tell, I gush over him all the time, don't I? Burrito's back. Peralta will be back fairly soon. He's just doing his rehab starts and letting him take a little time down there. Bullock got himself suspended for arguing with an umpire like a dumbass. And of course Blanco's still here because he doesn't suck. Oh, and Marte's back from his injury. Oh, that was the other one. I keep forgetting about him. Oscar Hernandez, our catching prospect, the guy we expect to be our catcher of the future. We decided to call him up. Iannetta got hurt and went on the DL, and I was like, let's give Hernandez a chance. Let him have some MLB experience. He's probably not going to stick around once Iannetta gets back. He might come back up in September, but questionable. But I figured he was hitting well in Reno, even in small sample size, but he was hitting pretty well in Reno. Why not give him a shot and see what he can do up here? Hasn't been great, but small sample size again. He's at least getting on base. Got the defense. That's what I'm mainly concerned about there. On the pitching side, not a whole lot of change over here. Godley's come up to be my long reliever and actually done a pretty damn good job at it. 17 innings. Look at those numbers he's putting up. I've been rather shocked and really surprised and really happy. And then we got Corbin came back up, and I wasn't expecting much out of him, but look at what he's done. I mean, yeah, his ERA is still high because of when he was a reliever, but we actually looked at his pitching stats, his game log since being a starter. 6 hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts. Gave up 1 run to LA. Gave up 3 against Cincinnati. Gave up 3 against Atlanta, and then gave up 1, which was a home run against St. Louis again. Like I said, he's been doing really well since he's come back up as a starter. He's gone from a 6.31 all the way down to 4.94. Apparently that was just it. He just didn't want to be a reliever, I guess. So yeah, he's been doing amazing for us. That's about all our other real call-ups we've had. Everyone else is pretty much chilling out. we'll take a look here at the schedule and see we had a great June. We're getting a lot of wins, especially early in there, and just late inning wins. We'd kind of be suck, and then all of a sudden, like 7th inning, our bats would just explode. We did split the series with the Marlins, but we ended up sweeping San Diego, taking 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee, splitting a series with Detroit, going to Philly and taking 2 out of 3, taking 2 out of 3 in Colorado, taking 3 out of 4 from the Phillies at home, taking 2 out of 3 from St. Louis, and finishing out the month on a win against Colorado. We ended up 18-8 that month. 18-8. That is crazy, considering I was just thinking, like, maybe we can get back to 500, I'll be happy. We were 19 back in the Dodgers still, though, because it's the Dodgers. There's just ain't no chance of us catching them. They do have a couple of injuries. They lost Urias. They lost Puig, but they're still just on a roll. We were 2 back of the wild card at that point, but we were 2nd in the NL West. So then here in July, Hernandez got called up because of Ionetta's injury. And about July, Ionetta will be back. Actually, I should correct that. Ionetta, I believe, is now in AAA doing his rehab start. We also lost Rodney, by the way, in June. I forgot to mention, which is why, if you noticed there, we don't have a closer. I decided not to promote anyone to closer. I just decided to keep the setup guys and let them kind of fight it out amongst themselves who wants to close. Granted, at the time, I felt like we didn't really have anyone I wanted to push up into the closer, into the setup role to replace one of those guys. So, anywho. July wasn't quite as hot of a month. We did end up losing the series against Colorado, but took 2 out of 3 out of the Dodgers. And swept Cincinnati going into the All-Star break. NL won that 10-2. Don't really care about the All-Star game, so we're going to skip that. We only got 1 out of Atlanta in Atlanta. Came back at 2 out of 3 out of Cincinnati this time. Only got 1 out of Washington, but that's not a surprise. Washington's a pretty good team as well. Got 2 out of 3 out of Atlanta when they came back to visit us. And split the series with the Cardinals in the month of July. Overall, we ended up 13-10 in July, which not as good as that amazing June we had, but that probably wasn't really realistic anyways. So 13-10, we'll take it. You know, like I said, we were above 500 for the month. We're above 500 for the year still. If you look at our standings here, in fact, we're actually now tied for the wild card with Pittsburgh. Granted, Milwaukee's just 1 back of us. And we're only 6.5 behind the Marlins. I mean, are we going to catch them? Maybe. Probably not, especially with Greinke gone, but who knows. As long as we're here, we'll go and take a look at the rest of the standings. Meanwhile, in the NL West, Dodgers continue to put on a ridiculous pace. Giants are just 8 behind us, but everyone else is pretty much below 500. In the Central, you got the Cubs doing pretty well with the Pirates and Milwaukee trailing behind, then everyone else is pretty much out of it. In the East, again, like I said, Washington's a pretty good team. They're doing pretty well up there. Marlins are doing great. They're just got the same problem we have. Washington's just better. And then everyone else is below 500, meh. Seattle, oddly, for being 50-57, were really active during the trade period there. And we'll see if they're still active now the trade deadline's passed, but that was kind of surprising considering they're not really all that much in it. Texas has pretty much run away with the West at this point. Oakland might catch them, but probably not. Oakland's mostly going to be trying to chase that wild card. It's going to be their big thing. Central's just over. It's Indians. Indians are going to win that. Everyone else is just no. And then the East is competitive as always, though. It's just New York, which is not a surprise. Toronto and Tampa, though. Boston's actually struggling. They have a lot of injuries, which isn't helping them either. And then, yeah, in the wild card, Toronto's got just a half-game lead over the Rays, and Oakland just 2 back, with Houston 5.5. Let me see. Oh, we're gonna look. Let's go ahead and take a quick run through here. We'll just look at our June and July numbers. As you see, in June, Arcia continued his hitting as a home run hitting, with actually hitting for some average and on base. Goldschmidt was doing pretty good on that. Home runs were decent enough. Drury did all right. Vargas, like we said, has been just an on-base monster. Tomas actually was doing all right in the whole, 12 games, but still. Give me for a minute. Had to sneeze. So hopefully I actually didn't mute that properly. What else was I looking at here? Oh yeah, Owings had a terrible, terrible June. But he made up for it when we pull up here in July. He got a lot better. Arcia continued his power streak and his on-base streak that came out of nowhere for us. Tomas went back to being Tomas, aka the guy I love so much that I just wish was on our team all the time. I might pay him $30 million because he's just so amazing. You know, not that he's not already getting paid way too goddamn much. Did I say he was getting paid way too goddamn much? I mean, he was getting paid not enough. He needs a lot more. 14 million to be a piece of crap. I mean, be a great hitter. Who? What? God, that's so cheap. Anyway, Pollock. Pollock had a good power surge there for us in July and was on base guy like always. Goldschmidt dropped his average a little bit, but his on base was still good. Didn't get quite as much power out of him as we were looking for. Drury struggled a little bit. Vargas dropped a bit, but he's still ridiculous on base guy. And Hernandez gets on base and doesn't do a whole lot else right now. I'm hoping that changes, but right now, I mean, he's here just for the experience for the moment. Pitching wise, you have Ray doing pretty good, other than he's giving up too many home runs in June there. Miller having a great June. De La Rosa somehow having a great June. I don't know. De La Rosa always surprises me. And Corbin having a great one start. Archie killed it in June. Godley did pretty well for the 4 games he was up. Everyone else, Delgado didn't do too bad. Hatcher was giving up too many home runs. Surefire was walking away too many people. He won his scope. I'm amazing at this, aren't I? July, Sabre pitching fell back a little bit. Ray had an issue with giving up home runs, still striking out people to put a decent clip. John Walker just was unlucky. Well, his walks rates was really what was killing him. Miller continued to be good. Nothing really there you complain about at all. Maybe his hits are a little high. Putting that whip, his walk rate's low though, so that's why I'm thinking his hits. I'm driving that up in July. De La Rosa was only really here for 2 games, and he pitched like De La Rosa, which is good enough for my 5-starter. I ain't gonna complain too much about that. And then Corbin continued to be good somehow. Yeah, look at those numbers. Those are pretty excellent numbers there. There's overall 137 strikeouts for Ray. Archie was 79. Good numbers overall for Archie. Great numbers for Godley so far, which is, again, still surprising me because he was just a long reliever just to keep him out of the... just because of his stamina and because I thought he'd suck. I really did think he'd suck at it, but... They're probably still doing alright. Hatcher's climbing up a little bit, but he's still doing alright. Barrett's somehow become alright. Over on the hitting side... Arcia's up to 24 home runs with a pretty decent on-base and about average. Really good ISO. Bullock with a really good ISO. Good about everything. 11 home runs there. Brewer with 10. ISO's not bad. It's okay, slugging. He's not been amazing, but he's getting the job done. Vargas so far is killing as an on-base guy, not a slugging guy, but we're not surprised by that. I looked at ISO, that's what I'm looking at, is power. You know, ISO, isolated power, shut up. Goldschmidt, 17 home runs. Good ISO there as well. Really good on-base percentage, which isn't surprised as it is Goldschmidt. And nothing else really standing out. Tomas just has his 5 home runs. He still sucks, which is no surprise. I mean, he's still great, which is no surprise. Go to our homepage, take a quick look at our minor league system. Reno's doing great. Jackson not so much. Rizala not so much. Kane definitely not so much. Hillsborough, Osprey, they're god awful. The Arizona Diamondback Rookie League team is awful. That's alright, we have a terrible farm system anyway, so it's gonna be a while before these guys ever become any good. Taking a look at a few of our prospects here, we got Banda, who I moved up to Reno. Basically, he did have small sample size, but Reno needed an extra pitcher, and so there you go. He got called up, and he's not doing a bad job at it. Walk rate could be a little bit better, but other than that, I'm not complaining too much. So I'll take a 3.2. Home run rate could maybe drop a slight bit. But he's doing pretty good. I mean, we're expecting him not to be more than kind of an average pitcher for us, but he's got a chance of being a September call-up with those numbers at just 24. Christian Walker, you already know about. Labia. Leba. Leba. I guess Labia is a bad name. Whips. I'll call him Leba. Maba. Sheba. He can be Sheba. How's Sheba sound? Anyways, he's a guy who looks like he could be a really good contact guy, sort of in the realm of Vargas. Vargas, I can't pronounce his first name. At least I can pronounce his first name. I'll give him that. And he's young. He bumped up to Reno after having a pretty decent run in Jackson. He was getting good walks, not striking out too much. Figured he's ready to go ahead and give Reno a shot, see what he can do. And he's someone I'm definitely interested in. Good defender who could be a great contact guy with good eye and great at avoiding strikeouts. Chisholm, for whatever reason, the game's in love with. And I can see that he could become a great player. He's just a fly ball hitter for a home run hitter, and he's got decent defense. We'll see how he goes. He's not doing too bad in high A. He's only 19, and yeah, he's kind of pissed off, but he'll deal with it. But everyone was trying to trade for him. I was like, everything they're giving me were all crap too for what they're trying to trade him for. I was like, I'm good. I'm good, fam. Oh god, I just said fam. Someone please dislike me just for that. Like, I will support disliking me just for saying fam. Alcantara is another prospect we've been looking at. He moved up from Izala to Jackson. Has been doing pretty good up there. He's a candidate to probably next season. I want to get him some more at-bats in AA first, but next season he's probably a good candidate to end up in AAA as well. A greedy little bastard, but good defender, has absolutely no goddamn power, but great eye. Profile you already know about. Westbrook's another one I think could be a possible call-up. His eye needs to be better, but he's good at avoiding K. He's got good contact and low average power, but he'll get a few home runs out for us. I want to see how he does at Reno first, as you see his strikeout rate's gone up. Well, his strikeout rate's always been up, but he's doing okay at Reno. I want to see how he does. He can play in the outfield, which is another benefit to me. Got that nice flexibility that Profar has as well. What else we got? Reyes is another player who's going to be average. But he's kind of been making the moves up the ladder. Doing a pretty good job. He's a ground ball hitter, though, which I don't really like. Especially with a guy with some power. I don't want to be a ground ball guy. Everyone else, really, I'll be honest with you, I'm not all that excited about. Duncan's another one that might... He's done really well. He might be someone who comes up, especially in the September window there. Bracho's been pitching pretty well down at Jackson. Walk rate's a little high, but that's really all we got going on over on that side. We're going to take a quick look at a few of our guys we drafted that aren't on this list because the game hates them. I don't know why, it just hates them. Boink. Oh, yep, I almost forgot. I keep forgetting about those guys. These are our two international signings because they were cheap and we only had a 1.2 million budget. I brought in Ernesto. We think he'd be a great eye guy with decent contact. They think he won't be. It was worth it to try for what? It was like 550k signing bonus. Give him a shot, see what he does. And then Patino. With one, they think he'll just be home run power. We think he'll be kind of a better hitter all around. Got fly ball for that. Okay, fielder again. Here's like another one of these. Take a shot and see what happens. There we go. We'll take our first three picks there. We got Herrera, we signed at 2.8 million on the whatever slot, the bonus. And he's been playing in high A for us. He's doing a pretty good job. He's probably on the list. We'll see how it looks, but he's probably on the list to go up next season. Engelbrecht, not quite so much. He needs to get his home runs down, get his movement and control up a little bit before I'm really tempted to give him a move to AA. But so he's not doing great. Well, again, I've got him forced starting, and we'll see if he can stretch his arm out. But Most likely he won't be able to, and he'll probably have to eventually move into the pen, but for now we'll have him start and see what happens. We'll see what happens. He's got a low sample size. Maybe he comes back to it. And then Swanda has been started in Hillsborough, pitched a couple games, didn't do great. I think the game moved him down because I changed my control settings for a second and then changed them back. So I was like, nah, and then I said, yeah, well, I'll keep it. Only has a one start in rookie league. It's probably a good spot for him to stick around until he gets his control and stuff built up a little bit more. Nothing a whole lot exciting there. Quick little news run through. Batista had a 4 home run game. Lucroy got signed to a 7-year deal with the Rangers for $156 million. Amora had a 24-game hit streak. Bellinger had a 23-game hit streak. In June, your best hitters were Miggy and Bellinger. Pitchers were Chapman and Jansen. And rookies were Gillespie and Bellinger. Martinez got his 2000s hit. Beltre got his 3000s hit. Baltimore's owner died with his son taking over, who's an economizer and demanding. Braves owner died with the younger Malone coming in. That would be money-wise and lenient. We had our trade there. Stroman got his second shutout of the got a no-hitter this time, and second shutout of the year. Power rankings, we're sitting at 12th right now. In July, it was Lindor and Bryant for best batter. Pitcher was Buck Farmer and Noah Syndergaard. And the rookies were Gurriel Jr. and Almora. And take a quick look through our statistics. Our batting leaders, you have Harper with a 4.9, Goldschmidt sitting third on that ranking. 11 triples for Spanenberg. Owens fourth with 7. 34 doubles with the leader. 163 hits for Lindor, leading the way by about 20 hits there. Cruz with 36 home runs already. Gallo with 34. Arundano with 31. Bellinger with 31. We're going to ignore runs. Gordon with 50 steals already, not bad. Hamilton with 49. Everyone else is just kind of eh. Goldschmidt leads in walks with 1 more than Harper. Altuve leads in extra base hits, tied with Lindor with 55. Pitching wise, you got Pinata leading in run average, ERA, blah, blah, blah. Chapman with 33 saves already. Roman with his 2 shutouts. Archer with 6.4 hits allowed per 9 innings. Ray 7th on that with strikeouts rate is back up on the list at 8th with 137 strikeouts. Kershaw just running away with their 201 strikeouts so far. Bumgarner's next with 157. Ray 3rd in Ks per 9. And 6th in opponent's average. He's doing a pretty decent job. If he just get his home runs down, would be great. Of course, Kershaw's huge wins above replacement. With no real surprise on that one. Team statistic wise, absolutely useless stat to look at. So anyways, I think I've covered everything else. Lamb's about back. Rodney's going to be out for a while, and I don't even know what we'll do with him when he comes back. Alright, he'll stick around. I think I've covered about everything I wanted to cover there. We're getting about 30 minutes, which is about where I want to stick it. So we'll call it at that. Like I said, it wasn't much of an eventful trade deadline. I kind of called most of the trades. If you're really interested in it, let me know. We'll take a look at it next time. As long as we got a couple minutes, I'll do a quick run through here of the current injuries. Kind of see we're pretty good compared to a lot of teams. You look at Boston has quite a few out. White Sox quite a few. Cubs. Colorado has just terrible luck with injuries right now. Just look at that. Tigers with quite a few. Astros okay. Royals with a few. Angel. Dodgers with quite a few as well, including, like I said, Urias and Puig. Miami's doing alright on that. Milwaukee. Mets are another one with a ton. Philly with quite a few. San Francisco with a few, but it includes Cueto and Pence. Well, Cueto's only a day-to-day, so he'll be back. Will Smith, they're only really a reliever anyways. King Felix is out. Matt Carpenter is out. Asuna Estrada, a couple others are out. Strasburg's almost back. And yeah, so going to go back to our homepage there. So there you go. That's about 30 minutes there. I feel like that's a pretty good run there. We're going to call it at that. That's been episode 6 of DBacks Swing. Let me know what you think about it, or don't. I don't really care. Again, do feel free to dislike for me saying fam, because I would dislike myself too for saying fam. And other than that, come back next time. We'll try and wrap up, probably end up wrapping up the season and see where we're at there, and look at who's in the series, who's doing what, and so on and so forth. So see you next time, and have a good one.